In the Great Recession, money invested in the S&P, Standard & Poor's, and index mutual fund earned 1/3 of 1% compounded rate of return average. Pathetic, okay? However, money linked to the S&P 500 tripled income tax-free using IUL with diversification and rebalancing. In this episode, I'm going to show you the difference between having your money in the market versus linked to the market, because it will make all the difference in the world. Get ready. I think you're going to gain insights into why max-funded IUL knocks the socks off of having money in the market, especially in tax-deferred IRAs and 401ks in mutual funds. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist now for more than 5 decades, helping thousands of Americans prepare for a comfortable retirement and not outlive their money. And so I eliminate the 3 big dangers that cause most retirees to outlive their money: taxes, inflation, and market volatility. So how do I do that? Okay. I use indexed universal life. Now, indexing is a strategy. An index mutual fund is a commodity, okay? So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let's go to the Great Recession, the worst period since the Great Depression. And watch close, because we're going to start in November of 1999 here on the left, and we're going to go 12 years to November of 2012, okay? Now, people who maybe spent their entire lifetime accumulating $1 million nest egg at the turn of the century, and they thought they were going to retire, after the 9/11 terrorist attacks, they felt like they had lost their future, because that $1 million nest egg went down, down, down for 3 years, down to, 650,000. They felt like they had lost their future. They had to put off retirement 7 years because it took 4 years to come back to break even. Okay, let me stop right there. That's because money was in the S&P. Now, people who had money in IUL were linked to the S&P. What does that mean? It means that if the S&P goes up, you get to participate in the upside potential, maybe up to a cap of 12 or 15 or 17 or 25%. But if the market crashes like it did here, you don't lose a dime of your principal. You may not make anything, but you don't lose. Now, from 2000 to 2010, there were 5 down years. Okay, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2007, 2008. Okay, see, we're in history back to the Great Depression. There's usually in a 10-year period only 3 down years compared to 7 up years. In that period, there were 5 down years. So worst case scenario, in IUL, if you just sat there and never rebalanced, is what we call it, you would have earned 0 in 2001, 2002, 2003, 2007, 2008. But the other 5 years, you would have participated when the market was going up. You would have capped out only twice. Here, you would have capped out at 17%, and over here at 16% in 2009. But your average return in that 10-year period would have been 7.23%, tax-free, 7.23. Rule of 72, divide 7.23 into 72, your money doubles in 10 years. So in that 10-year period, our clients with $1 million had $2 million at the end of that period. If they just had 0, they didn't make anything, but they didn't lose half of those years, okay? Now, our clients actually didn't just earn 7.2, they earned 11.17. And that's by diversifying and reallocating, rebalancing. If all they did is after 2001, most of our clients in 2001, the 9/11 terrorist attacks, they didn't lose, but they didn't make it. They got 0. And in 2007, they got 0. But only 2 of the 10 years that they earned 0, not 5. Because the other years, 2002, 2003, we just had to move back over to the general account portfolio rate, which was 5%. So instead of earning 0, they earned 5, 5, and 5, and the rate of return went up to 11.17. Hello, okay. Now, my book that I'll gift you at the end of this episode will teach you how to diversify and rebalance with a properly trained IUL professional. But see, this pathetic performance, having your money in the market, in the S&P, to where $1 million barely came back after 12 years to $1,046,800. When you do the compounded annual equivalent, that's only 1/3 of 1% compounded rate of return. Inflation was 2.5 to 3. You're not even keeping up with inflation. Okay. Now, if all you did was take out an IUL and you had a floor of 2.34 and you were capped and you never rebalanced, you would end up with 130% more money. But our clients ended up with 250%, 300%. Their million was worth $3 million by using indexing, because when the market went up, they participated. But when the market went down, they didn't lose, because their money is not in the market. It's in the insurance company. If they have $1 million in their policy, okay, going back to this whole scenario, if you started out with $1 million, and if it's in an IUL, the $1 million is earning the general account portfolio rate with the insurance company, where they put money in AAA, AA bonds, mortgages on skyscrapers and shopping malls, okay? They're very savvy with money, and that's why they've weathered the Great Depression with flying colors. And so they were crediting during that Great Recession at least 5%, okay, tax-free. Banks were only paying 1%. See, money in these were crediting 5 times, 500% more than banks were paying. Banks were borrowing your money and paying you 1% and putting it in these and earning 5%, 5 times more, okay? Just bypass the middleman, if you're getting the message here. But the point is this. If I have $1 million in the IUL and it's earning 5%, if I want to go for it, okay, like maybe the turn of the century, everything was booming, the dot-com boom. And so you simply tell the insurance company, don't take 1 dime of that $1 million and put it at risk in the market. Don't invest that in the S&P 500 stock market. Keep it safe in your insurance company earning 5. But you can have and use the 5% interest on my million, that $50,000. Do whatever you need to do with that interest on my million, the $50,000, to have the wherewithal to credit me with whatever the market does if it goes up. Okay, so if the market goes up, that they take that $50,000 and they buy upside options. It funds an options budget. These insurance companies are the #1 purchaser of options in the world. If you don't understand options, that's okay. Just understand this: 50,000 of options can easily double to 100 grand or triple to 150,000. So if the market goes up 8, they pay you 80,000 on your million. If it goes up 12, they pay 120,000. But if it goes up 20, maybe they'll only cap you at 16, which is the caps back then, 16 and 17%. See, it's called a cap. The trade-off for capping, because they don't have your whole million in the market, is that if the market tanks, if it crashes, you don't lose a dime of your million. You relinquish the interest that year, but you don't lose a dime of your million principal, okay? And so that's pretty profound. So what happened is that in 2001, our clients, because the market crashed, the options expired worthless and zero. But zero was their hero because everybody else in America was losing money. The next 2 years, they moved back over and just said, just pay me the 5% until the market turns around and people start flying and going out to dinner again. Well, that happened after 2003, and then they started out up here instead of down here, and they started making money again, and they capped out at 17% up here. And then when the market crashed in 2008, they already had, their million had already doubled to 2 million, and but they didn't lose 2 million in 2008, okay? They didn't make anything in 2007, and they didn't lose, but in 2008, they turned around and they locked in gains of 16%. They capped out at 16% the first 90 days of 2009. They were clear up here, like this chart. But this chart is only showing 130% increase because they never came in and rebalanced. By rebalancing and diversifying, our clients ended up with 2.5 million, 3 million for the million they started with by being linked to the S&P instead of having their money in the S&P. So if you want to understand this more, please study my book, The Laser Fund. It's been flying off of our warehouse shelves. It retails on Amazon for between $20 to $60, plus shipping and handling. And if you buy it on Amazon, thank you. But I'll gift you a copy for free. but I require a little bit of skin in the game. Go to laserfund.com or click on the link below. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I'll cover the rest of that, and I'll pay for the book. I will fire out a hard copy to you via priority mail. And if you like to listen and learn, you can get the audiobook. If you like to watch and learn, you can get a master class. That's a nominal investment. But it'll be well worth everything, because so many people spend tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars going to college to learn how to go out and earn a living, but then nobody teaches them what to do with the money. Come on, invest in your future. And so it's 2 books in one. This side is the left brain side for the charts and graphs and explanations if you're a left brain learner. If you're a right brain learner and you learn more by stories, you flip it over to this one. This is about 100 pages, 12 chapters with 62 actual client stories. If you want to use your right brain and your left brain, you can read the whole book with your whole brain, okay? But folks, when you're in there claiming your free copy, you can register for a free educational webinar we teach on a weekly basis, no cost, no obligation. But you can also schedule an appointment with an IUL professional that I train and oversee. Because if you go to your nephew or uncle because they have an insurance license and you ask them, can you set up an IUL? I don't want you kicking yourself 10, 15, 20 years down the road when you put 500 grand into it and you don't even have 500 grand that it grew to, because they didn't know what they were doing. You want your 500 grand to double to $1 million, to $2 million, to $4 million, and then to $8 million. Because if you don't go to the right person, you're going to be lucky to have 500,000 double to $1 million over a 30-year period when it could have grown to 8 million. I'm dead serious. So schedule an appointment, no cost, no obligation, to see how a properly structured max funded IUL will work in your particular set of circumstances and how you can be immune to market volatility and make money when the market goes up and not lose when the market goes down. If that sounds too good to be true and you ignore it, you're missing out. A lot of things in my life sounded too good to be true, and they ended up being true. If I would have ignored them, I would have missed out. Don't miss out.